Let me ask you a big question. Do you think that minimum wage affects only people who earn very low salaries? That's what people think. But I'm going to shock you tonight. I'm going to show you 5 shocking ways that minimum wage affects your money, even if you're not a low salary income earner. And you need to know this because when we talk about financial intelligence, we talk about growing your money, you need to understand the money systems because these money systems are connected. What is happening in the labor market, what's happening with wages, what's happening with insurance, what's happening with the banks, what's happening with manufacturing. They all affect you because it's the same system. So don't listen to tonight's topic and say, oh, no, I'm not a minimum wage earner, so it doesn't affect me. In fact, number 4 affects you seriously if you are an investor. So listen up. So most people think that, no, it doesn't affect them. But today I'm going to show you that it does affect you. So let's talk about the shocking way number 1. Prices go up for everyone. Prices, when this minimum wage increase, like it's happening all around the world. In fact, like every year, there's always a clamor to increase the minimum wage in the country. Nigeria went through that cycle. They go through that cycle every time. I think they went through that recently and raised minimum wage. Is it to 62,000 or something like that? And then Nigeria is actually a case study of what happens when they raise wages. And then stay to the end because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm going to show you how this affects you, affects your money, affects your investment, and I'll tell you exactly what to do. And then if you're a minimum wage person listening to this, I will also tell you what to do because you are going to discover that that is not the best way for you to live. And there are options. But I can understand that the school system did not teach us these things. So we don't know. We just come out from school and then we enter the job market. And then from there, we start unionizing and putting pressure on our employers for to increase minimum wage. So now, whenever there's that minimum wage increase, prices go up for everyone. It's not just for people. It's not just for people who earn low salaries. And then in Nigeria, you see it all the time. Once the news comes out, oh, they've increased minimum wage to 62,000 naira or to 70,000 naira, everything in the market goes up for everyone. So and you know, businesses don't like to lose money. So what do? They raise prices of the things that we buy. If you look at the food prices in your country, if there's been some wage increase, if you look at food prices today and food prices just 5 years ago, it will amaze you. In Nigeria, who would imagine that you are going to be buying one egg for 250 naira or 300 naira? Who would have imagined that like 3 years ago? It wouldn't have entered your mind. But that's actually what happens, and it's called inflation. So when minimum wage goes up, the price of things that you buy the prices of things you buy also go up. And so even if your own salary doesn't change, you start paying more at the supermarket. So it affects everybody. And this is why it appears that your salary is disappearing. So anytime you hear union workers or you hear labor rioting and carrying placards and say increase minimum wage, you need to be aware that even if you're a private sector person, that it affects you. So the shocking way number 2, raising minimum wage also can kill jobs. It can kill jobs because some businesses, especially small ones, wouldn't be able to afford more workers at higher wages. They won't be able to do that. So what happens? They cut jobs and they hire fewer people. And then it starts having the ripple effect because the man who was once a breadwinner now loses his job. And then sometimes they hire machines or they find robots that can replace the people doing the job. Okay, so if you go to some supermarkets or even at the airport, some airports, you see all these self-service checkouts, in supermarkets and things like that. That's one reason why they are there, to save on paying humans, because you don't have to pay once you buy the machines and the self-service machines, you don't have to pay them anymore. Okay, so you may lose job opportunities because of that. Shocking way number 3, it shrinks your take-home pay. Yeah, raising minimum wage actually shrinks your take-home pay. When wages go up, the government increases taxes to cover up the higher wage bills for public workers. They do. And they do it in such a smart way. Don't even know that they're actually taking more from you than they are giving you. It's the government. I hear a very funny expression here in Nigeria all the time. They say, fear government, that after God is the government. Why? The minimum wage raises can lead to higher taxes. It can also have hidden fees that you don't even know about. And then, of course, that means less take-home pay for you. And so you have the illusion, you think you're earning more, but sometimes the government is actually quietly taking more. And you feel like you're working hard, but your money is not stretching. So the poverty or the scarcity challenges in the world can never be solved by minimum wage engineering. But that's what we think. That's what many of us think. Oh, there's poverty, just then raise the minimum wage. Oh, cost of living is high, rent. People can't afford rent anymore. Raise the minimum wage. Labor will carry, oh, we no go grey. But you see, labor and the unions have been protesting for as long as the world has existed since the Industrial Revolution. Almost every year, labor protests, but it's never solved the problem. But I'm going to tell you what to do to solve the problem. Shocking way number 4, it can hurt your investment. So for those of you who invest in the financial markets, the stock market, and all kinds of markets, it can actually affect you. How? Because higher wages put pressure on company profits. And if you own shares in a company that now pays higher wages, the profit will drop. And when the profits drop, the stock prices also drop. When that happens, when profits drop, the company might not be able to pay you the kind of fat dividends that they used to do. So minimum wage doesn't just touch salaries, it can touch your stocks, it can touch your savings, and it can even affect your retirement. Shocking way number 5, it creates this money illusion. So when minimum wage goes up, people think, oh yeah, I'm rich now. Can you imagine going from a minimum wage of 30,000 naira to 70? Man, you feel like you're on top of the world, but you are not. Remember that prices go up. Remember what happened like in the rent in Lagos last year, in fact around Nigeria, not just Lagos. It was crazy. There was this wave of as if the landlords all had a very dark meeting. And I remember in the estate that we stay, the three-bedroom flats went from 2.5 million all the way to 8 million and 12 million and 13 million. It was absolutely insane. And it drove many people away from the city back to their villages and to their hometowns because they could no longer afford that. So you don't become rich by raising minimum wage. That's not how you become. It's an illusion. And if you don't know how to grow your money beyond wages, you are stuck. And that's actually the point of today. Because some of you are still 9 to 5. And one of the main goals of the Financial Fitness Challenge, which is my mentorship group, is actually to win people off wages into profits. You know, the late Jim Rohn will say that profits are better than wages, because profit is what you get from creating value and then exchanging value for payment. That's profit. And profits are better than wages. Actually, in fact, that's a very good place, very good thing to type in the comment section, everybody, because I'm making that transition right now. And that's the whole point of today's session. Profits are better than wages. Please type it, everybody. Type it. Yeah, hello, Nadine. I see you. Olivier. Where are you joining from? Tell me the country you're joining from. Hi, Elise. Ilunga. It's been a while. Good to see you again. Sekinat. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, everyone, type. Profits are better than wages. Profits are better than wages. And so, if the only way you make money right now is just through wages, you need to start considering profits, because profits are better than wages. So, what should you do in this situation where where the unions, the labor unions are all screaming wage increase, wage increase, wage increase, minimum wage increase? What do you do? So I don't want you to panic, but I just want you to be smarter. That's what this whole live session is about. Just to be very smart with your money. Be very smart with your money. And it does not matter what is going on around the world. It doesn't matter what's going on in the economy. This is why King Solomon said that wisdom is the principal thing. You know, basically saying that wisdom is the first principles. So when you are having any challenge with money or with relationship or with whatever it is in the world, go back to the first principles. And the first principle is wisdom. Wisdom made everything. And so if you align with wisdom, it doesn't matter. You will be in a position where the Job, the patient sufferer, said that you will laugh at adversity. You see, what makes you laugh at adversity is wisdom. What makes you laugh at financial adversity is wisdom. Okay? Wisdom, for instance, is delayed gratification. It's delayed gratification. Like I said in a recent video, I had money. Recently, I got some money, which is profit, not wages. And that could have gotten me a car. That could have gotten me a car, because I have a truck that I used to do my work, my farm work and things like that. And then pulling that truck all over town, it's so draining. That truck is big, you know, so I'm going to the bank, I'm in truck. I'm going to church, I'm in truck. I'm going everywhere. I mean, that huge truck, to pack it is a big problem, because it's huge. And then to make a turn, everybody will be looking at you. To make a turn, a turn along the road, then everybody stops, because you can't do it in one. Okay, so I have wanted to get a small car. And I had the money in my hands to go buy the small car. But then I said, listen, if I buy this car right now, that's it. But I can invest this car. I can invest this money. You know how much a car, buying a used car costs in Nigeria right now? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I'm not talking about what the Nigerians call the Nigerian used car. It's a tokumbo. It's a lot of money. And I had it. And I said, I could buy this car, or I could invest it in the stock market. And when I do that, in another 3 to 5 years, that investment can buy me 5 to 10 of those cars. I've seen that happen. Stocks that are doing 200, 300% in 1 year, 400%. And for some of you in the Financial Fitness Challenge, my mentorship group, I gave you some penny stocks. After my analysis, I spent sleepless nights. And that was the first time I'm doing penny stocks, because I didn't really believe in penny stocks before. But this time I just said, Wait a minute, it doesn't hurt. So I studied it a little bit. Then I went and I saw some 7 stocks that had amazing fundamentals and they were undervalued from my analysis. So I shared it in the group. I said, take position. That was just last month. And today, those stocks, you can't find them to buy. And some of them are doing 50%, like in 3 weeks, 50%, and still running. So for some of you who are there, you remember? I told you about tips. I told you about QTIX. I told you about UPDC. You can't find any of these stocks. I told you about charms. And so I said to myself, look, if I invest this thing now, I can wait. I can suffer a little bit. I can suffer. Because just for 3-5 years, it's called delayed gratification. And then in 3 to 5 years, I wake up one day and it's not even the little car that I was trying to buy. I will have enough from the dividends of that investment, not even from the principal, to be able to do that. The reason I'm telling you this is that wisdom is what you need in any economy. Wisdom and discipline. So how many of us think about it? Because people tell you in Nigeria, they say, man no die, man no rotting, enjoy your money. That's one of the stupidest comments and statements I hear people say in the streets. Enjoy your money. You don't know when you will die. That's a very terrible mindset. The fact that you don't know when you will die is actually why you should be prudent with money. It's actually why you should be wise. Suppose you don't die this year. Suppose you still find yourself alive for another 40, 50 years. What are you going to do about it? So profits are better than wages. What should you do instead of relying on wages? Number 1, learn skills that are hard to replace. Learn skills that are hard to replace. Machines can't easily replace creativity, leadership, and critical thinking. And in fact, to even make that sweeter, we are living in a generation, in an age where making money is so easy. It's been democratized. Who would have thought it? I mean, if my grandfather or even my dad, who passed on in 2001, that's 24 years ago, if he wakes up and visits the planet today and sees this thing, this didn't exist then. With this thing, an internet connection and knowledge, which is why I'm saying pay for mentorship, not necessarily mine. Find somebody who is succeeding at what you want to do. Pay the person learn, because with this thing alone and an internet connection, young people are making millions a month. So it's never been easier to make money than it is today. And then the saddest thing is that what people use this and do to scroll for jokes, especially on Facebook. I don't know why I'm just so irate about the kind of community on Facebook and the sort of things they consume. So if you post some real stuff, hard stuff, oh, I don't understand this, it's too hard, explain it for us. But they will keep scrolling celebrity gists, then looking at funny videos, looking at comedy skits, laughing. And they wonder why they are poor. They wonder why they are poor because of use of. So you can use that time to learn skills that are hard to replace. Modern skills. Learn about AI. Learn about content monetization. Learn about the different platforms. Learn all those things. Learn to sell. And you will never lack money. So number 2, build your own source of income. Start something small. A side hustle, an online business. It's not difficult. From the work, so you still do your work, you still do your 9 to 5, but use your spare time to do a side hustle. This year, I have sold honey. And surprisingly, today, I've gotten 3 orders for honey. Wild honey, because I got a hunter I drove around looking for, because of the way we used to consume honey, the quality of honey in the 70s. They will have very of our house. There was a forest behind our house. And as they are coming out very early in the morning, my mother would buy the honey. Oh my goodness. And you touch that honey and put on your tongue, you will start speaking in tongues. Okay, I'm just kidding, but you literally understand what I'm talking about. But all of a sudden, the quality of honey disappeared, and the things that they were giving us in the supermarkets, that's not honey. That's not honey. So I now drove to those villages, those old villages, and I found a hunter. And then I got into partnership with him and bought up. I made money. I made money selling honey. That was a side hustle. And so, build your own source of income. Sell something. Start an online business. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting your free time. If you are poor, if you are struggling with finances, what business do you have with Netflix? In fact, type this thing I just said now. Type it. What business do you have with Netflix? If you're poor, type it so that other people can read. Do you have Netflix if you're poor? It just amazes me. I go into poor neighborhoods. Anywhere in those days of, I don't know whether they still use TV antennas and all that, because I don't have a TV, so I don't know. So in poor neighborhoods, you see TV antennas all over the place. They are living in shacks. So those houses made with not even zinc. They use straw bags that they cut as walls. Poor neighborhoods. And then all of them used to have TV antenna. And I'm wondering, the worst thing a poor person should put in their house is a television. The worst thing a person struggling financially, not even a poor person, because when we say a poor person, some of you will excuse yourselves. I'm talking about you too. If you're struggling with finances, the worst thing, the number one worst thing, what's the word worse than worse, that you can have in your house is the television. So what business do you have with Netflix if you're poor, if you're struggling with money? So use such spare time. There's nothing like spare time. There's nothing like spare time. So sometimes language can be deceiving. Use that time to build a side hustle. Number 3, instead of hustling for wages, invest in assets that outrun inflation. Stocks are doing amazing. Stocks. My goodness. Can you imagine a stock tip that was 1 naira something just 7 months ago? Is doing 10 naira today, 7 months. That's not 100%. Is that not 1,000%? Is that not 1,000%? And then stocks like Better Glass went, I believe it was from 30 something naira just a few months ago to 300 and something today. So even if inflation in your country is bad, let's say it's 30%. I don't know what it is in Nigeria now. So let's say it's 30%. And you invest in one stock that is doing 300% in 1 year. That's wisdom. You are good. Don't worry about all these people who say, oh, Nigerian currency devalued and things like that. One day I'll do the math for you to show you that that's not a very reasonable argument. So you invest your money, let's say, or you save in the bank, say in the US. Those of you in the US, you can tell me what interest the banks pay. Or maybe you even invest in mutual funds in the US, and then you're getting 8%. 8. Or let's say the fund does very well and you get 10 to 12%. If you invest $1,000, if they give both of us $1,000 to invest, and I invest it in US, you invest in US ETF, and I invest it in some brilliant stock here in Nigeria, I will make 3 times, 4 times. By the time, if I change it to dollars, I will make at least 3 times or 4 times in 1 year. That's your 1,000 naira, and then you probably $1,000, and you probably have 1,200, 1,000, maybe 1,000. Is it $12 or something like that, or whatever, or $1,120, 12%. But I can return to you at least $2,000 or $3,000. So invest in assets that outrun inflation. Sometimes starting your own business can protect you. All right. So number 4, focus on value, not on wages. So people who grow their wealth focus on value. That's why I've told you that profit is better than wages. Focus on solving problems. So focus on meeting needs, not just chasing bigger paychecks. Because, the thing a lot of people who do 9 to 5 do today, that I think if I'm in your position, I would do something different. So people say, oh, let me go and get such and such certification. Let me go for MBA. Let me go for masters in this. And then the reason they are going for the master's program is not because they want to solve a problem that will pay them profit, but because they want to rise in their career. They want bigger paychecks. What a waste of money and time. So you can use that time and learn something that can give you profit, not wages. Okay, so this is where we are going to draw the curtain today. As usual, I would like to hear from you what your aha moment was from today. But this is really something I'm passionate about, to see you see yourself the way that God designed you. You weren't designed in lack. And to see yourself and see abundance. Unfortunately, the system forced us, we are forced into a system of scarcity. And the scarcity we see in the world is very, very artificial. It's not natural. Even the economy is not natural. The economy is man-made. But I really want to see you align with the spirituality of wealth. Align with the spirit, not with the economy. Because the spirit doesn't lack. The spirit doesn't speak the language, it doesn't understand what lack is. The spirit does not understand what inflation is. It doesn't understand what lack is or something. It doesn't understand all those things. So, extricate yourself from the system, adopting the mindset of abundance and working in that way, because this minimum wage thing is a scarcity system. What did you think before? Even the word minimum, I feel even that word minimum is dehumanizing. It's a scarcity-based system. So take yourself from the minimum scarcity-based system into the abundance spirit system, where the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing, I have everything I need. Where I do not walk by sight, I do not walk, and that's why I don't have a television, so I don't listen to all those experts, economy experts, who by the time they finish speaking to you, fear will grip your heart, and you go out there and make very, very senseless decisions that cost you your money. But if you are aligned, with the spirit, there's abundance. There's abundance. So even when everything around you speaks to the contrary, you will have the wisdom to be able to do the right things. Okay. So Krista says, solve a problem or a need. And Augustine says, my aha moment is the poor have nothing to do with Netflix. Absolutely. All right. Krista also says, invest in assets. Where to start? I would encourage you to start with the financial market. You can start with the stock market. Open an account with a stockbroker. And then you can start with ETFs, exchange traded funds, and mutual funds. Those are lower risk assets, and you can start from there. But learning, reading, learning, so that you can start picking your own stocks, by yourself, and then not letting the fund manager do that for you. Okay. Elise is asking how to make $75 per day with the 5 prompts. Elise, there's actually a video that tells you exactly how to do that. I would like you to always focus your questions on the conversations that we are having. Yeah, because your question throws us outside of what we're having today. But that video tells you exactly how to do it. And I also gave you the 5 prompts. It's there in the description. Okay, First says focus on value, not on wages. Build a business of your own. Absolutely. All right, and Christiana says, can you recommend any platform or app? I guess, Christiana, you are asking for trading the stocks. Yes. If you're trading the Nigerian stock market, which is probably the hottest stock market in the world right now, going by the way that foreigners are pumping money, pumping investments, foreign institutions into the Nigerian stock market, it's crazy. And that's why the depth of the market is increasing. Every day stocks are just going crazy. GT Bank at some point hit 85 naira today. Zenith Bank is climbing, is almost hitting 60, because big funds are coming into the market. So if you're trading the Nigerian stock market, open an account with a licensed stockbroker. I prefer not to use app. People just like app. Yeah, but you can use Bamboo. But if I'm trading the European or North American stocks, I can use Bamboo because it's easier for me. But if I'm trading the Nigerian Stock Exchange, use a licensed stockbroker. There are dozens of them, and you can trade from the comfort of your house wherever you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been wonderful always spending this time with you. And by the way, I have an announcement to make. By the end of this month, it will be 1 year since I've been coming daily on live sessions. First of all, we have started in Facebook and now on YouTube. My plan is to do that for 1,000 days. I just gave myself a challenge, like what could happen if I share the things I'm learning every day for 1,000 days. And so I'm going to take the month of August off from the live, and then we'll resume in September. But of course, the videos will keep coming, the regular videos. It's just the live session. So I'm going to take a break. And also in August, we are not going to have the Financial Fitness Challenge cohort. We're not going to have a fresh one. And so if you want to join the July Financial Fitness cohort, which is my mentorship group, we are currently enrolling. We're actually starting the cohort next week. What you want to do, because if you miss July, it means you have to wait till September, and you don't really want to wait. There's a lot of things going on in the market. There's a lot of things you want to catch up with going on. There's a lot of things going on in the world of AI, in the world of content monetization, that we are going to be discussing in the group that you don't want to miss. So send a message right after this. Say, send me early bird payment details. That's how to join. Send it to this WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is also in the description of this video. Send me early bird payment details. Send it to +234 8088 000111. Send it right now. And you are going to get started. You're going to be added to the group. You're going to be told what to do to join the group. And so I'm going to hang around for only 15 or 20 minutes for you to send that and then make your payment and join the group. But if you miss the next 15-20 minutes, it's fine. I will still take a look at it later, maybe tomorrow, and then we'll continue from there. But whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. And I pray that you stand strong in all the things going on. Don't let anything phase you, because things are not always as bad as they look. And whatever happens, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next. See you same time tomorrow. Good night.